easy go.
Right guys, this is going to be a prestige solo with a bubble titan only. So we're going to try and make it a little bit harder. It's not like the sweatiest Nightfall ever. I could do that by maxing out the card and everything, but I haven't got a lot of time and this is probably my last upload for the week. So here's the modifiers that I'm going to do. We're going to do avoid singe, heavyweight, momentum, so just the simple modifiers. But I'm going to do it with a bubble titan only, so I cannot use the sentinel super, only ward of dawn. And we're also going to do it with colony, as we know grenade launchers are bad in this game, so I'm just going to try and make it a little bit harder for myself, and I want to see what it does to the boss as well. As for weapon loadout, we're just going to do for primaries our usual Devil's Manan combo. I'm going to go Armentarium so that I get 2 grenades, and the grenade that I've chose is going to be Void Wall. It's basically like Thermite, but it doesn't always work as good as Thermite for some reason. I don't know, it just doesn't spread as well, but it's a pretty it's a good grenade, you know, when it's landing. And of course top tree, because we're Ward of Dawn only, and Rally Barricade, and that's the weapons and everything.
Hey team, copies of the Cabal invasion.
I guess it's going to be my bubble only solo. When it comes to the end of the week, you know, I always end up doing something different because, you know, done everything there is to do, showed out how to do it on all 3 classes. This is just an alternative run really, just to try and make it a little bit harder. For the boss room especially, the thing with this video is you're going to see survivability techniques, strategies on how to stay alive at the boss, because to be fair, in all my vids I always like to one phase the boss and do the Nightfall as quick as I can, because that's my thing. That's shown people, you know, for those that haven't got the time, how to do it quickly and farm. So you don't end up seeing all the little things where, you know, say for example your super doesn't do what you wanted it to do, or you waste your heavy, or you haven't got any heavy at the boss. Then you learn little things here, well, big things. You know, if you mess up, what's your plan B? You'll learn things like that in this video. So that's why I like doing a bubble only, because it handicaps you, and it's like, this is how you play if you haven't got the heavy and the super for that. Also I want to mention, I've seen a couple of posts on Reddit and a couple of subs have mentioned to me, which I appreciate, that they've said that they've been, you know, speedrunning the Nightfall and they've had no luck. You know, some people have said they've done it 65 times, 30 times, 80 times. You know, that's a lot of runs. Not even I do that many. You think I do a lot, but I don't. I never have problems with strike specific loot and getting drops, and I think I might know why, and it's to do with the threshold. So that's an in-game mechanic, so when you get the 110k this week, you'll get the aura, and you know, it'll say on your emblem that you've done it. A lot of people have started to do the 110k score, then they start speedrunning it, and I was thinking, okay, there might be something to that, because every Nightfall just about I do that anyways, but I never thought about that. So every time at reset I come on and do the 110k score, then I start speedrunning it and I get the drop within 10 or 20 times. Not any of the weeks have I had to farm 70 or 80 Nightfalls. There's only one week that I can remember that happening, and that was with Nokris. I can't remember if it was the first week of the DLC, the one-man DLC, or the second week that Nokris was up. Can't remember, but I do remember being low in light for it. I think it was Arms Dealer first week, Nokris second. I remember being low in light, and I remember not really wanting to do any high score runs. So I was just concentrating on my solo because it was a new Nightfall and I wanted to solo it. Then once I'd done my solo, by the end of the week we found out, like late on, that there was a rocket launcher called the Osprey. Like Curtain Call, well it's like Sins and Curtain Call, but it's a hybrid between the two. So I really wanted that rocket launcher. So I found 50 Prestige Nightfalls with a team in a couple of hours and didn't get the drop. That was the first week where it's like, okay, I've done a lot of Nightfalls, still didn't get the gun. And I think it might have been because I never got the threshold score. There might be something to do with it. It might increase the drop rate chance. So I'm going to, as going forward, probably say each week, because I make the video, you know, I do a video for the channel with Hitman. It could be unknown or it could be arming. We always do, you know, how to get the threshold score for that week. So I'm going to advise do that first, then you start doing your speedrunning, whether it be with a team, whether it be solo, it doesn't matter. Do the threshold first, then do it. You have nothing to lose whether it doesn't work or not. At least you've ruled it out. At least you can say, okay, I've done the threshold score, I'm still speedrunning it, I'm still not getting the drop. At least you've ruled out that it's not the threshold that's holding you back from getting the drop. I might be completely wrong, and it might be just like we thought. It's a random drop from a chest, and the more Nightfalls you do, it increases your chances, because, you know, you have better chances if you've done 5 Nightfalls in an hour than you have 1. But like I said, there might be something to that threshold. But it made me think, because I realised that I do the threshold every week, apart from that Norcris week where I didn't get the drop. So, to my personal experience, it's better to get the threshold at reset than speedrun. Just thought I'd mention that. Yeah, like I said, with this run, you know, we're just messing around, just trying to do it with no supers. Usually I'll come up here, be aggressive and whatnot. And once we've done that, kill all the Cabal. So yeah, this is not a fast run. It's not designed for that. We're just doing a, you know, an alternative run. This next section, like I showed in my the Warlock, Titan and Hunter run, you can skip all these ads, so I had no reason to kill any of them. I was wanting full heavy for the boss. This colony holds 16 bullets, so nearly full heavy. I just wanted to see how much damage it could actually do with applying multipliers like we have with the heavyweight and the void singe. I like to take out these 2 snipers just because they can be annoying when you're trying to sparrow past them. Yeah, so you're not going to really learn anything from me doing this, not until the boss anyways. So the run is just as normal really. The only difference is right now I didn't use a super, because I'm handicapping myself by saying, right, I can only use a bubble. So there's absolutely no difference really. I had to take out the Colossus with the at the start with Colony, but that's no big deal. Colony's actually good in terms of playing safe. You know, you can dip in and out, and the robot things will do the work for you. So we're going to skip this section as well. I'm not going to make people wait through all this. You can comfortably get through this section. The only time where it's difficult, I think, is the Vex rotation. Especially on Solar Singe, because the Hobgoblins are more likely to hit you with their sniper shots. Whereas the Scions have to lock onto you, and you can miss them. You see that I'm moving my right stick, so the camera, to just be as agile, and for the snipers just to miss me basically. I like to melee that sound just for an overshield. The melee on the top tree sentinel is fantastic. You get health regen, You're getting that overshield. It's really good. That's one really good thing about it. So I think some of my shots missed, so apologise about that, but I was just wanting to see, so I was
Wait for it.
thinking to do 2 void walls and see if I could get him down below half or something. Which it doesn't, it does a bar of his health. I think those last couple of shots missed, to be honest, couldn't tell.
It's sequence wall as it favors.
I always like to save 1 or 2 shots just for this Minotaur. This is where you're going to learn some stuff. If you're at the boss and you're struggling for damage, I think you should be, but if you are and you've sent the boss but you've got all these ads, you have no heavy, then obviously we've got momentum on, so I always advise you put that on. Now with momentum you have to play to it, so if you notice I'm just killing 1 harpy at a time. They are dangerous to me. You know, if I've got 5 harpies shooting at me, I've got Void Singe on. If I had enough heavy, I could have killed the Minotaur and ran through, but to be honest, I wanted to take my chances at getting heavy, because heavyweight's on, so if I clear the full room, I'm hoping I get some heavy bricks. Also, you notice I have an Arc Manana on, I forgot to mention that. So even though it's Void Singe, we could take advantage of the multiplier for the increased damage by having a Void Manana. But there's that many harpies to deal with that it's more beneficial to have a matching element for that. I do that in a couple of Nightfalls, even on serious runs. Pyramidion was one a couple of weeks ago. Even though, you know, we would maybe run Solar or Void, it was still beneficial to run Arc. Some weeks it's like that. I'm just taking out this Minotaur. Hopefully get a brick or 2. So I got a brick off him and another ad dropped a brick. So that's half. That's nearly half heavy, so that's okay. So my idea is to send the boss, because what you'll find is if you don't send the boss as quick as you can, then you're contending with the ads and the boss shooting at you. That's a really dangerous moment. Like so now it can be. If you didn't have momentum on, this would be way harder actually. So now I've sent the boss, so that's now it's not as risky as it was. And now I have to worry about 2 snipers at the back. The Minotaur's the main target, but we need some more heavy. So looking to kill. Just to see what our luck is for heavy. Then again with this room, as you can see, look, it's not much cover, so I thought I'd just do a bubble on this one, since I'm not using it for anything. Another one I was going to do Bubble Titan, Arc Singe, all arc weapons, but with Prospector. Because Prospector can actually put some damage out when you get the multiplier Arc Singe and heavyweight on. I done one on Pyramidion, which had done a lot of damage to him. Took like more than 1 bar off his health. So yeah, that was another thought, but I thought I haven't done one with Colony, so plus it's just funny to use. So luckily a harpy dropped me a brick there, so I've got a brick that. I'll get a brick off the Minotaur guaranteed, so that'll get me to half heavy. Yeah, so to recap this room, if you were to be struggling and you're just doing a normal run, you're struggling for DPS, first thing you need to send the boss away straight away, as soon as you can anyways. Just keep moving about, do a bit of damage, move about, do a bit of damage just like that. Then when it comes to the ads, take 1 ad at a time, so 1 harpy at a time, move 1 harpy at a time. Also get those 2 snipers, the silent snipers, and then leave the Minotaur till last. If you have enough heavy, by all means, just, you know, if you're running a shotgun, you could just run up and shotgun the Minotaur. No problem. I'm making this room way harder than what it needs to be. But again, it's just to show you survivability things, which I think is important. So with this room, you're going to have 2 spawns of Cabal. A set of Cabal will spawn down, will jump down like they just have, and then there'll be another set shortly after. So you need to use these pits to your left and right to your advantage. The boss will come down here, but he'll only ever jump down to the back of the pit, whereas you, well, to the front of the pit, and you can jump in the back. So, you know, we can kind of go between the two. We're just focusing ads. You always focus ads. With any encounter, if you're trying to fight the boss and the ads solo on your own, that's where you get your problems. That's where you get your deaths, I think. People try to mow the boss down. Only do that if you have a foolproof strategy that you know that power weapon, whether it be curtain call, whether it be the EP shotgun, only try and one phase the boss if you know you can do that, which therefore you would need to practice one phase in a boss. If you can't, then ads need to be a focal point of your solo play then. So what I'm trying to do here, I ended up messing it up, but basically I know that the boss with his health, the ads will spawn at a certain part of his health. Because I'm running explosive round weapons, it done more damage to him than I expected. I'm basically wanting to take him down as much as I can to then see if I can kill him with colony. 16 shots would take a bar off him with 2 nades, maybe kill him. That's what I was wanting to do. That's why I'm taking my time here. But unfortunately, the explosive rounds kills him. Doesn't kill him, sorry. Takes off too much damage, so I've spawned in the lasers, which that's not what I was wanting to do. I'm kind of glad it happened though, because then you can see how to survive the lasers. But you're still using the pits, just it's a little bit harder. The lasers will change every now and again, so you need to kind of, you know, use momentum as best as you can. Never try and confront the boss. Don't go to the front of the map like that. When you one shot, just start running between the pits. Try and clear out the pits. So try and have that there's no ads in the pits. That's your first kind of thing. See how you know the boss will jump down, you jump up. That's basically the thing of it. See there, if I didn't have momentum on, I would have died. But this is why you need to start getting used to momentum. It's probably going to become a thing where we're having momentum on every week, just because I can't see a bad Nightfall. I can't see a Nightfall where it wouldn't benefit you. So now that we've kind of cleared ads, getting ready for DPS for damage. Just watch that laser if you jump up like that, and now I'm just deciding just to kill him. So yeah, 7 shots is doing a good amount. I probably could have killed him, you know, 3 bullets if I'd taken him down just a little bit less before the lasers. Then I think the colony and 2 nades would have done it. But I'm glad it happened anyway, so that you can see how to survive the lasers. Anyways, this was just my just a weird run, just my last upload for the week. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.